I started cutting hair almost 4 years ago. I started my junior year of high school. Uh, Before that, I was a carnicero. I was a butcher.
No shit.
Yeah, man.
No fucking shit.
I first started as honestly, my first ever job was as a panadero, as a baker.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I did not want to do that. My dad, he was a baker. I seen him waking up 2, 3 in the morning. I didn't
You
want
said
that.
fuck that. Okay. So was it like a family business or was it just like a job that you guys?
Honestly, from my dad's side of the family, that's all they do. They're all bakers. My grandpa was a baker. His dad was a baker.
Damn. Okay.
And yeah,
So it's kind of like a bloodline thing,
yeah, but
right?
honestly, I did not want to do that, man. I had bigger ideas in mind,
Right. Right.
and I started this 2021, and I've just been trying to grow myself and grow my brand. I started my own product line, and
It's looking good.
yeah,
Looking good.
that's
dope, bro.
that's what
That's
the
dope.
future holds for me.
That's awesome, man. So, and the reason why I asked like what the future holds for you is because I asked that question to a lot of barbers, and for some weird reason, their tail tucks into their in between their legs, and I'm like, that question should scare you, but you should also have an answer too.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? You should have an answer because it's your future. Only you know what you want to do with it.
yeah,
You know what I mean? And especially like with barbers too. Like at the end of the day, I'm pretty sure you don't want to cut hair like when you're like 60 years old.
no,
You know what I mean? I don't want to cut hair when I'm 60 years old. Yeah, that sounds cool, but realistically, like your body's gonna start shutting down. Your carpal tunnel, all the stuff that really affects barbers is real, dude. Like I actually have pre carpal tunnel in one of my hands, so that shit sucks, dude. Like it feels like a cramp.
yeah, and a lot of
Not sure if you ever get those cramps when you're cutting all day. Fuck, dude, it fucking sucks, dude.
and a lot of times barbers don't realize that. Like, yeah, it's an easy job. You're standing, but if you have bad posture, you're gonna mess up your back. If you,
Yeah, I did actually. Speaking of that, I actually did watch a video on the posture. That was pretty cool. That definitely shed some light on how posture can affect your everyday cutting, dude. Like I myself have had back problems, and ever since I started like taking it serious, I've learned ways to combat that because I want to be comfortable while I'm cutting all day. I mean, I'm blessed now that I don't have to work so hard because I took social media serious back in 2020, and I was able to scale from $30 a haircut to close to $100 a haircut. So I don't really have to work too hard, but I could if I want to, right? And I definitely think every barber should take their craft serious because that can happen for them too.
yeah,
And the way that happened was through social media. I mean, I'm sure you by now you
yeah,
understand the power of social media. Like I definitely believe that every single barber out there doesn't have a business problem; they have an awareness problem. Like when it comes to their business, it's always if I mean just think about it. If more people knew you, you'd be booked up until 2027.
yeah.
You know what I mean? So let's take that back. You actually said you were a carnicero, bro, so a butcher.
Uh-huh.
So you went from cutting meat to cutting hair.
Yeah.
That's crazy. So talk to me a little bit about that. Like how did you get started with cutting meat, and then what made you pivot from cutting meat to cutting
Honestly, it all started working in the bakery. I was working in the bakery. They got a new baker that he had years of experience on me.
hair? So he's like, all right, go do this then.
Yeah, they told me, they're like, if you still want a job, because during this time I was 15. Not a lot of places hire 15-year-olds, 14-year-olds, or whatever.
Right.
So they told me, like, if you want to stay here, we can move you to the carniceria. And I was like, all right, I'll do it. I'll do that. And I was there for 6 months. And honestly, it was just a back and forth. Man, well, I was 16. People, the guys that were there, they were in their 40s. One of them was in their 50s.
Damn.
And what's it called? Most of the time, they would want to argue with me. They would try to throw me under the bus. I'm like, bro, you're twice my age, 3 times my age, trying to argue with me. So I didn't want that.
And it's funny because like you don't just see that in that space, you see that everywhere, like especially in barbering too. Like you don't see many barbers trying to help out each other, and the ones that do, it's true. It's a true blessing, bro, because we should all help each other for that same reason. Like we should all want to go ahead together, you know. And it sucks that those butchers treated you that way, because at the end of the day, bro, like you're right, they're older than you. They're older than you, so they should know better at this point.
Yeah. Yeah.
They should know better at this point. It's like, okay, how can I teach this young kid how to do the job easier? Because at the end of the day, I'm not gonna be here for the next 10 more years anyways. Like, what, you know what I mean? Like, realistically, a 50-year-old cutting meat for 10 more for age 70 is not realistic. You know what I mean? It's not realistic.
Nah.
You know. So so how did like so what made you say I'm done with cutting meat, and what was your mindset after that?
Honestly, when I took the decision to stop cutting meat, was one, I wanted to work more on my own time, you know. And at first, I thought it was gonna be all rainbows and sunshine, you know. I thought it was gonna be like, oh yeah, in 6 months I'm gonna have a set clientele already. I'm gonna be booked out. Yeah, hell no, dude. It was a lot longer process than I thought.
Yeah, dude.
But honestly, it was worth it for me, you know. I wanted to set my own schedule. I wanted to work on my own time, you know. I did not want to be asking for days off or anything like that. Even then, I feel like I'm still working more than I did in the carniceria, but I'm doing something that I love and I enjoy doing, and I'm able to connect with other people. Dude, I've met amazing people doing this, you know.
Yeah, bro. I mean, shoot, bro. Like, you're here doing a podcast with me. That's one of the connections that you have now. You know what I mean? Like that's one of the reasons why I chose to go this route with the podcast, because there's barbers out there like yourself that work hard, but they don't see it as work. You know what I mean? And you're right, dude. A lot of the times, especially nowadays, like barbers come into this game, and especially the younger guys, like all these new ones that are coming in. Like, most of it, I personally believe, if you don't love the craft and you're just doing it for the money, you're not gonna last.
You're not.
You're not gonna last. You're gonna find out real quick that the sunshine and rainbows were just meant for people that actually love the craft. You know what I mean? And because I've seen that before, dude. I've seen barbers go from like, oh man, I'm hella motivated, I'm gonna do this, and then they get to the shop and they're just sitting there on their phone. It's like, bro, like, you should be doing something. Because, I mean, nowadays we're in the digital age. Like, now we have digital assets where you can post online, where content can actually pay you in the long run, right? I think there was one post for me. There was one post that actually paid me almost like $1,800 just off one post, bro. And it didn't happen overnight, but I will say it's worth it. So if whoever's doing content, bro, keep doing it. Like, just keep doing it. Post your content. And if and like, let me ask you this: what do you think? Like now that you're posting content consistently, I mean, are you consistent for the most part? What do you think is like the most like the biggest problem for barbers to get on with content?
Honestly, it's gonna be the editing. I feel, because even me, you know, when I started doing content, I want to say it was my second year of cutting hair. I was not able to do it. I was not able to take it seriously.
Right.
Mainly because I started getting overwhelmed with the editing, which I feel like a lot of barbers, or not even barbers, a lot of people that create content, I feel like they could all agree on that point, you know. The editing is going to be the part that's going to get you.
So I actually have a framework for that. And honestly, it just simplifies everything. So I call it the 3-clip sequence framework. And what that mainly is you're going to take either a satisfying clip, hair falling off, and a difference being made, leading into the final look of which is the haircut, right? Eventually, you're gonna want to do 3 of each, but to start, just do 1 of each, and then boom, you have your video. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And over time, you're gonna realize, oh fuck, like, if I can keep doing this like as satisfying as I can, like, the average person's gonna watch all the way to the end. Like, if you think about it, bro, like your parents probably think cutting hair is boring. And that's literally everybody that doesn't cut hair. They think cutting hair is boring. However, if you make it entertaining or have a story behind it, you're gonna have them wait till the end, the end of that video, and which can convert into a client. You know, and like, I was able to work at a private suite with no walk-ins, all for the soul of social media and posting every single day. Obviously, like, you have to whatever flops, you have to take that as like, okay, what did this one teach me? That way I won't do I won't do that again. You know what I mean? I'm sure you've done that before, right?
Yeah.
You know, or like, okay, this one flopped, I'm gonna try something different. So in your experience with content, what have you tried and what like works for you?
Voiceovers. Honestly, my voiceovers are the ones that have hit over. I have like a couple videos that have hit over 100K views.
Awesome, bro. Congrats on that, by the way.
Thank you. And honestly, it all has to do with voiceovers. I would always try to do like a before and an after. Those would usually flop, you know, because everybody's gonna see that. Everybody sees that. Not a lot of people like want to just see the video, like the before and after. You know, some people want to get entertained. And that's what social media is about, you know.
Yeah.
You start talking, like you have a hook in the voiceover that gets people, like that attracts people to stay and watch that video. You know?
It hooks them in because it sparks curiosity. Like you really have to like spark curiosity in the viewer to have them stick to the end, because like I said before, cutting hair is boring, bro. I mean, for us, that's what we cut hair. It's like, oh, that's pretty cool. Like I at the end of the day, like tutorials and people that shoot content think like, oh, I'm gonna do a tutorial, and they think that that's what's gonna get more views. No, like at the end of the day, like Funado Letal is not gonna care about your 1.5 method. All they want to care about is the end result of that video, you know. And the only way, from my experience, that I've seen work with the transformations is that the person has to look like fugly, bro.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, and I mean that, and I say that very loosely. Like, I don't want to offend nobody, but you have to make your client look super fugly to where they look like a fucking new, like a dime piece after. You know what I mean? Like, have them all flight up with their collar and chain, all that good shit. Like that's literally taking the step forward, because if you don't, then you're not gonna get anywhere, and that's just a sad the sad reality of content. So like you said that you've hit multiple 100K videos. It's funny because I actually hate doing voiceovers. I fucking hate it. That's not my thing. Like my thing is action reels and consultation videos and podcasting now. Like I really like doing things on the fly. I don't like doing script work. Do you follow a script, or you kind of just do it on the fly?
Honestly, I record the video. I go onto either TikTok or CapCut, and I just go straight off.
Bro, that's fucking that's talent right there, bro. Because I can't do that. So the way I do it is because if it comes out if it comes out naturally, that's gonna just sound better, opposed to reading a script. And that's just in my opinion. And it's funny because the videos that I've done voiceovers on, whenever I do a script, it doesn't do good. But whenever I do it by myself, like using like just, you know, chill, whatever, and do it myself, it does a little better. But I can't. It takes me forever.
Nah, it does take forever, man. Because even for me, it's not like, oh, I see the video and right away I'm able to just say words. You know, man. I sometimes I do over 100 clips just to get a 20-second video, man.
Yeah, dude. Like, it's funny because yesterday, I did a script for my story. I think I was in my car for like 25 minutes just trying to get this fucking video out. Just for a 20-second, no, not even 20 seconds, like 12 seconds. And it was funny because I couldn't do it. And it was pissing me off. And I was like, you know what? No, like this is what people aren't willing to do. Yeah. People get upset, they get pissed off, and they get in their feelings. And then that's why they're not where they're at. They are where they're at because of their emotions. Oh, I'm tired. Oh, this is too hard, or whatever. Because content's hard, bro. Especially especially when you're booked up. I mean, how do you handle the pressure, the rhythm of like being booked up all day and then trying to find the time for content? Because I get that a lot with barbers that are like, oh, I don't have time for content. I can't handle the pressure. It's like, so like, what advice can you give to barbers that are in that space?
Find something that you like. For me, I like going to the gym. You know, when I go to the gym, obviously when I'm lifting weights, I can't edit a video. I can't do a voiceover or nothing. But at the end of my workouts, I always do cardio. You know, I do cardio. I go on the Stairmaster or any sort of cardio where you're just somewhere still, edit the video. Well, that's what I do. You know, I edit the video. If it's going to be a voiceover, I wait till I get home. I'm in my car for like 10, 20 minutes.
Trying to get that voiceover.
And I'll do the voiceover there, you know. There's always going to be time. If you're truly dedicated to something and have, you know, it's not like, well, yeah, it's dedication, but at the same time, it's discipline, you know. If you have discipline to tell yourself, you know what, you got to get this video out. You got to upload at least 2 videos a day. You're going to find a way, no matter what. I like that. No matter if you're busy or whatnot. If you want it, you're going to go and get it, you know.
That's facts, bro. And now that I coach barbers now, like I I speak to a lot of barbers like in DMs and stuff like that, and they always number one thing is how to get new clients. That's the number one. Oh, how do you get new clients? Okay, well, shoot content, and that goes hand in hand with what you were saying. If you're not disciplined, if you're not willing to do the hard work, then you're gonna miss out on clientele, and that's just the reality of it. You know, like I know barbers that are willing to do it, but they don't want to. I also know barbers that they don't know what to do and they're not willing to learn. And then I also know barbers that want to learn and that are willing to do the work. Like, which one would you rather work with?
Yeah.
The last one, right?
Yeah.
The last one. So and it just puts it in perspective, which barber are you? Like, are you 1, 2, or 3? You know what I mean? And because a lot of the times with content, like it gets repetitive, bro.
It does. It really does. But that's the thing. If you see one video blow up, for example, you know, like it could be a video of you shaving your client's head or doing a lineup with the straight blade. If that video hits, you could take that and you could try repeating it. You know, you try repeating it, and a lot of times once you repeat the first video that blew up, more than likely the second video is gonna blow up, then the third.
Right.
So consistency, like, you know, it is gonna be repetitive, but at the same time, it's more,
dude, like
more prone to
it's funny because a lot of barbers tell me the same thing too. Like, oh, I don't want to do the same. My bro, if it works, then why are you like not doing it?
Yeah.
Like keep doing it. It's okay to keep doing the same. Like that's why you see some barbers only do consultation videos. Why? Because it works for them. You know. I'm gonna use Sly Huncho for example. The man has a framework where he makes his voice sound like cartoonish. That's not his real voice. I'm sure you know that. I'm sure you know who Sly Huncho is, right?
I'm gonna be honest with you.
Really? You know who Sly Huncho is? You know who Sly Huncho is, Brendan? He's like the most famous barber right now on Instagram. When you get a chance, look him up. He has a framework. Mikey, do you know who Sly Huncho is? What? He has like over like 1.2 million followers. That's wild.
Wait, is it the one that
he's a black guy?
No,
the black guy. He's a black guy.
Wait,
my phone out. Oh, it's right there. But his name is Sly Huncho. But anyways, he has a framework where he literally just does voiceovers and he does a story behind it. Like, yo, make his voice sound like this. Sound like
wait, is it the one the sharpest razor?
The sharpest razor.
Yeah,
that guy, bro. Everybody knows that guy.
Yeah, never mind
that mode. Like that's not his voice. Like he just does that for the content and the content only. And people gotta understand that. Like you put on this character for the content, and that becomes the content. Like I'm gonna use rappers for example. I'm gonna use because they're the prime example. You really think Soulja Boy is about the shit? Fuck no.
Hell no.
You really think DDG is about the shit? Fuck no. It's just it's literally just a character that they play.
Yeah.
You know, they I call this it's called make your character dance, and that's what they're doing. Outside the camera, they're not that's not how they act. Hell no. Like I would love to see Sly Huncho or these people from outside the camera to kind of see what they are like, and bro, I promise you, they are not like that at all. So I encourage everyone to find your voice, find something you like, how you were saying, because it's that's how you're gonna progress forward with content, bro. At the end of the day, you know.
Yeah.
You know, but and then you said you have a brand now, bro.
Yeah.
Congrats on that again.
Thank you.
What is it called, and how can people find it?
It's called Beyond.
Love it.
Yeah. So right now the website is still in the works, but Instagram, it's under the name Beyond was taken. You know, so I had to go. I had to go with underscore dot.
Yeah.
You know, the pages is still in the works, but.
It's coming.
Yeah.
It's coming. Okay, that's dope. So how did you like decide? Okay, I'm gonna build this brand, and I'm gonna do this, because a lot of barbers don't realize that they're a brand, bro. Like you're a brand. Manny Cuts is a brand. Barber Paco is a brand. You know, a lot of people don't understand that. So like, can you like break that down for people? Like, you're a brand.
Yeah.
Right. You know.
Honestly, for me, man, it took me. I told myself last year that I was gonna have my own brand. The name is the part that got to me. You know, it was hard to come up with the name. I want to say at least 80% of my clientele, they get textured cuts. You know, they get mod cuts, they get mullets, they get a lot of haircuts that require texture. You know, and a lot of them they don't know what products to use or anything like that. So that was my goal. I'm like, all right, so I have more than 50% of my clientele wanting wanting to find a product that works for their
Right,
hair,
right, right.
so I'm like, why not just provide that for them as well? If I have my own brand, if I have a product that, my clients tell me that they want more of a matte finish, or they want something that has a good amount of hold but
Right, right.
not too sticky or anything like that. I've taken all that into consideration. I've talked to manufacturers about that, and I was able to come up with the product that I feel will suit a lot of my clients.
That, and then obviously a reflection of you.
Yeah.
Right. And that brings me to another good point is, let me ask you this: would you know your client, your ideal clientele? Would you know if I asked you what is your ideal clientele? Can you answer that?
Yeah.
What is your ideal clientele?
My ideal clientele, honestly, is people with beards, or people that have somewhat of a longish hairstyle,
Like pretty much like texture haircuts. Pretty
Yeah.
much, right?
Because
Yeah. That's awesome, bro. Because a lot of barbers don't know what they want to do, right? Like I get this a lot. I see this on social media too, where it's like, I'm sure you love doing like texture crop.
yeah,
Right?
man, that's my favorite. Honestly, man, that's the thing. A lot of barbers, they don't know how to use shears. They don't know how to use those things, So
I
it's
agree with
like
you. I agree with you.
I feel like I have an advantage over some barbers in my area, because I've invested into courses that teach me how to set the foundations when it comes to using shears, and that's why I feel like having that brand and doing what I do is gonna help,
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. So how I was saying, like, the way the Edgar haircut started, bro, like I shit you not, literally someone lined up somebody, and that was considered a fuck up, but then they called it the Edgar. That's literally how it started. The Edgar haircut started was because someone fucked up somebody, and then that's how it started. So, do you know the difference between the Edgar haircut and the crop? Because a lot of people confuse the two, and
Yeah.
like
That's what I tell my clients as well, because they're like, oh, I just don't want to look like an Edgar. I'm like, no, bro, because the thing with the Edgar, it's a harsh line. You line it up with the trimmer, that's the Edgar. The crop top, you use either a feather razor or you point cut. You section off the front piece and then you point cut that to create the fringe.
right, and you essentially a fringe is bangs.
Yeah.
Like you have bangs essentially. And people don't understand that. Like people see the fringe and they're like, "Oh, it's Edgar. It's Edgar." No, it's not a fucking Edgar. Like, stop calling it that. This is actually a beautiful haircut if you actually do it right. So, but back to the whole scissor thing. I do firmly believe that if you're a barber and you're not doing shear work, like what are you doing? Like stop doing the. I think we're in the trend now where we're starting to see the 16 guard.
Yeah,
bro. I get that. I get asked that question, bro, and I'm like, no, bro, we're not doing that. We're not gonna do that. Get a crew cut. If you want to buzz your hair, do a crew cut. Do you know what a crew cut is?
Yeah.
Essentially, what a crew cut is whatever you can grab with your fingers, and it leaves it better. It leaves it a better. It gives it a better look. Anyways, towards the end, it gives it more like a textured look. Because a lot of people think like, oh, I'm doing an 8 guard's fine, but what it's gonna do, it's gonna reveal all the natural dips in your head, because it's gonna cut it all even. Opposed to a crew cut, you can leave some parts like longer than others, and what that's gonna do, it's gonna create textures, it's gonna create volume, it's gonna create like a nice body on top of the hair. So stop with the 16 guard. Stop it. Like
stop doing that. You know what? If your barber's not doing a consultation beforehand and he's just going with the 16 card, he does not care about you,
Yeah.
Because this is the thing, and this is what I tell my clients as well. A lot of times when my clients want to do a new haircut or anything like that, I always give them a consultation, I always include a consultation with the service. And I tell them, if you want something messy, if you want something that's going to look good, let me use the shears. I tell them 16 card's not going to cut it. I could I could create a shape that will suit their face shape. But with the 16 guard or with any other guard, it's not going to create a shape.
Yeah.
Your head's just going to look round, or whatever way your head is.
And what's cool about that, bro, is I definitely think we need more barbers like yourself and like myself and people that actually like a lot of barbers here are starting to understand that too. That they need to educate their client.
Yeah.
A lot of barbers, bro, they just want to get you in and out. I think it's more common with the older generation. Like I'll see it. I'll see it with the older generation where they'll hate on like the sectioning and all that. I'll just grab the hair and cut it. Like, no, it's not how this works, bro. I'm not gonna do that.
Nah.
You know, I'm not gonna. You can do that, but I'm not gonna do that. You know. I think for me too. Like when I started cutting hair, when I came to town, I started cutting hair here. I got made fun of a lot for shooting content or sectioning hair out, or like I used to get told like, bro, take one for the team, hurry up. Like, no, I'm not gonna do that. You know, like like how you were saying before, you gotta have discipline. You gotta have the resilience to say no, because if not, then somebody else is gonna make that decision for you.
Yeah.
You know, especially clients. Clients don't really know. You know, it's up to us, the professionals, to say, don't do that, do this, right? You know, so. But how many years have you been cutting hair now?
I've only been cutting hair for almost 4 years.
Bro, that's fucking crazy. Cause like, you're what, 19?
Yeah.
You've been cutting for 4 years. You used to cut meat. You went from cutting meat to cutting hair. Now you have a brand, which is like, bro, you're doing good, bro.
Thank you, bro.
I think for you, the next step would just be capitalizing on content and bring people on for the ride. Like, oh, look, this is what we are building. Like, we're building beyond together.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because now for me, it's community over everything, bro.
Hell yeah.
You know what I mean?
Dude, honestly, I'm a firm believer in that as well. You know, me, when I started cutting hair, I didn't have a bunch of support. You know, my mom didn't support me doing this. Dude, you guys want to know how I started cutting hair? Where I started cutting hair? In my room with carpet. I would vacuum after every haircut that I would do. My mom didn't like it. She didn't want me doing it. She told me it was a waste of money, waste of time. I mean, but look at me now, you know. I had the dedication, I had the discipline,
the resilience,
and now I'm here, you know.
Yeah, dude, that's awesome. And I definitely think that your clients deserve to know that your future clients that want to come get a haircut by you that aren't sure. Like now you're giving them an invitation. Like, look, this is how I do my stuff. This is me. Like I'm not gonna be anything else, you know. And by the way, I know what it's like cutting on carpet because in 2020 I had work at my friend's office and he had carpet. That's just fucking horrible, bro.
Yeah, it really is, man.
It makes you no matter how much you want to vacuum, it stays clumped up and it's just bad, dude. It's just bad. But yeah, dude. I think it's already well over 45 minutes. This is a good convo. I definitely want to have you for part 2. I would love to keep going, but the memory card is about to fucking finish, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But I would love to have you on part 2. I would love to explore more on Beyond and how far you've come on the next one. I mean, who knows? Like maybe you'll be in Target selling your
hopefully, man.
selling your stuff. So for the viewers, man, tell them where they can find you and how they can book a haircut with you, and that way we can send them to you.
Yeah, man. If you guys are interested in booking with me, you guys could find me on Instagram, Manny Cuts, MANYY Cuts with the Z at the end. You guys could just message me, or I have my Booksy link on my profile as well.
Awesome.
You guys are more than free to text me. Even if there's a new barber or anything watching this, any new barbers or even a barber that has, you know, some time in the game already. If you guys need some tips or anything like that, if you guys want to know something, I'm always happy to help you guys, you know.
That's awesome, bro. That's awesome. Likewise, I can definitely build on that. If any barber out there that wants help, don't hesitate to hit us up. And I'm your host, and I'll catch you guys on part 2.
Later, guys.
That was dope, bro. Thank you so much for coming out.
Sir, man. Thank you for having me.